Hello YouTube fam, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tina and I make videos on lifestyle, home, and DIY projects every single week. We're getting closer and closer to the holiday season, which means lots of gift giving is going on. So for today's video, I'm sharing some DIY gift ideas that you guys can give to your loved ones. I've done a couple of these in the past and you guys always love them, so I hope that you guys like these ideas as well. This year I actually promised myself that I would get a head start so I won't be scrambling by the time December 24th comes. So I hope this video gives you the little push that you might need as well. I'm also excited to share that this video is in partnership with Cricut and I just upgraded my machine, so I cannot wait to show it to you guys. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and get into the first project. This first project is actually something that you guys have been requesting me to do, which is to DIY some jewelry. So today I got out my polymer clay and I'm ready to make a pair of earrings. I've honestly spent a really big chunk of time over the past year watching videos on Instagram and seeing people make really amazing jewelry with polymer clay. So today I'm making my first pair of earrings. I'm equally excited as I am nervous, but I have confidence in myself that I'm going to make something beautiful. So let's go ahead and get started. Jumping right on in, I'm conditioning my clay by softening it up with my hands, and I want this base to be a pink color, so this one is perfect. And one of the best things about polymer clay is that you can custom blend colors, so that way you can get a specific one for your gift recipient. Then with my roller, I'm flattening out and I'm using popsicle sticks on both sides to create an even slab. And I will warn you guys now that you want this to be quite thin because you'll see later on that I run into issues. But generally you want earrings to be about 2 millimeters thick, so keep that in mind as you're working on this project. I'm also using these fun cutters to create the shape of my earrings, and I'm going to lightly stamp that into the clay first. This step is totally optional, but since I'm making just one pair of earrings, I wanted to map this out as a guide. And I was planning to create a layered earring with a small piece on top and then a larger piece on the bottom. And since this is an irregular shape, I'm going to go ahead and flip the cutter and then mirror that on the other side. For this design, we're going to make some really cute daisies, and I'm using white clay first, so I'm rolling them into teeny tiny little balls. And I'm going to make a ton of these since they're going to be the petals on the flowers. So after they're all rolled out, I'm taking one end of each of the balls and I'm going to create a teardrop shape by pinching it. And then I'm going to take that and just place that right onto the clay one by one. Since we want to create a flower shape, I'm doing a radial pattern with this, and I'm also going to mirror this onto the other side so that it'll be symmetrical. There are tons of tutorials on YouTube for other flower types if you guys have a specific flower that you want to do, especially if you want to gift this and make that person's favorite flower. This was my first time ever trying something like this with polymer clay, and let me tell you guys, it was definitely harder than it looks, but I know with more practice, I'm going to get better and perfect it. I really love watching polymer clay artists do their magic. It's such an amazing art form. There are so many cool things that you can make with it, and even though I've been working with it for about a year now, there is still so much more I can learn. And if any of you watching are a polymer clay jewelry artist, please leave me your best tips below. I definitely need them. And if you want to make something a little bit less intricate, you can also make designs with multiple clay colors, and that way you can make patterns like marble, stone, and even speckled clay. So if you want to learn how to make those designs, I have a video all about polymer clay and I go over those techniques, and I'll have it linked down below. To make these petals look a little bit more realistic, I'm using a plastic needle and then I'm going to press that right into the petal. This creates a 3D effect, and doing this simple technique really makes such a difference. After that, I'm rolling out some more small balls of clay, but this time I'm rolling out less, and these are going to be a little bit larger to be the center of the daisy. And instead of yellow, I actually went with a beige color for more of a neutral look. Now I'm going to take the cutters and I'm pressing that straight into the clay and then remove the excess. And with a pointed tool, I'm poking 2 holes on the top piece and then 1 hole on the bottom piece to attach these all together. And to bake these, I'm putting them in the oven for 15 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. After they're all cooled down, we're gonna go ahead and give them a nice sanding with a fine grit sandpaper. This is gonna help us smooth out all of the edges, and most pros use an electric file for this step, but using wet sandpaper or a sanding block is gonna work just fine as well. You want to make sure that you wash it off after sanding, and then we're going to seal it in with either a glossy or matte coat. This is totally up to you, but I'm going to use a matte water-based polyurethane for this step. So now it was time to put it all together, and I'm using an assortment of jump rings as well as earring hooks to connect all the pieces. When it came time to put the jump rings on the actual earrings, I ran into a little bit of trouble. Okay guys, I just spent a lot of time trying to make these two pieces fit with little jump rings over here. Yeah, it's not gonna happen because I just made these too thick, so they're not fitting in together. Ideally, I would actually get an earring back and put it to the back of this piece. That way it only needs one hole instead of two, and that way these would attach together perfectly. But instead, I'm going to just make a one layered earring, which this actually looks super cute on its own. So this is actually what we're gonna end up with. I'm just gonna work on this piece on the bottom, but yeah, learn from my mistakes, guys. So not gonna lie guys, I'm kind of sad that we weren't able to fully make my vision come to life, but in the future I know now not to make my clay so thick. So if you guys want to see me redeem myself in a future video and make another pair of earrings, please let me know in the comments below. This project was still a lot of fun to do, and I'm really happy with how they came out. These earrings are absolutely adorable, and I'm really proud of how my very first pair of polymer clear earrings came together. They make the perfect custom gift for someone, and I actually am going to be keeping these for myself because they're really cute, but I definitely want to make more in the future. To go along with our DIY jewelry, we also have to make a DIY jewelry box. I have this really gorgeous one. It is in an emerald velvet color. This honestly would make such a great gift by itself. It opens up and has a mirror and all of these little compartments, and I wanted to make it a little bit more special by personalizing it. I think the best gift that you can give is something that's customized and super thoughtful, so I will be customizing this for my mom. My mom's name is really unique because it's in Vietnamese, so usually if you're looking around for personalized items, it's not gonna say her name, unlike my name, which is super common and usually you can find it at like a souvenir shop. So I'm gonna use my Cricut to personalize this. Previously I had the Cricut Explorer Air 2, but I just upgraded to the 3, and let me tell you guys, this machine is so beautiful. I absolutely love the green color. They also are always running sales, especially during the holiday season, so if you guys are interested, make sure to check out my links down in the description box. And for this project, it's really easy. I'm just gonna hop onto my Cricut design space, and we're gonna be using a gold foiled iron-on vinyl. If you haven't tried it before on velvet, it just looks so luxe and beautiful, and I'm excited to show you guys how it turns out. To get started, I typed in my mom's name in the Cricut design space, and if you're curious, her name is pronounced Suyeong. I chose a beautiful cursive font, and I'm also gonna click on the weld button to make sure that all the letters are connected. And when you go cut it out, you want to make sure that it is mirrored since this is going to be on an iron-on. I'm using a mat for this project, so all we need to do is to attach the vinyl on top, and you want to make sure that the shiny side is facing downwards. I popped it into my Cricut Explorer 3 to do its magic, and this one was such a quick one since it's just text. Okay, time for my favorite part. I weeded and removed all of the excess vinyl. It's just so satisfying to do. And now when you flip it over, you'll have the clear plastic on top and the text should read as normal. Now for the heat transfer, I'm just using my iron and I'm going to turn it to a low heat setting. I'm placing the vinyl right onto the jewelry box and making sure that it is centered. And then I put on a piece of parchment paper just on top of that, and then I started to iron. And you really don't need to put it on there for that long. I think I had it for about 15 seconds and just made sure that I got the entire vinyl. And now all we have to do is to peel off the plastic, and our jewelry box is now customized. This is a super quick and easy DIY to customize velvet or really any type of fabric. I've even used this on a fabric sketchbook, so that's also a really good gift idea. There is so many personalized gifts that you can make with iron-on vinyl, and I cannot wait to give this to my mom and for her to use it for many years to come. For this next project, I actually bought a box of amber glass jars, which I'm really excited about. These really remind me of the PF Candle Co. ones, and I love the look of these. I've made candles before as gifts in the past, and usually I just change up the scent to personalize it to the person, but this time we're actually going to personalize the label on the outside and make it extra special. I'm actually really excited for this because I'm also going to keep them for myself, and I hope you guys like this project. For my candles, I'm using soy wax flakes, and I'm going to melt it down by creating a double boiler with a pan and water on my stovetop. While that's heating up, I'm putting together my wooden wicks, and I'm also just gonna glue those to the bottom of the amber glass jars. I really love the look of wooden wicks, and I feel like I don't see them as often in stores, so these are definitely a bit more unique to gift to someone. Alright, so we want the wax to get to about 185 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the optimal temperature for the fragrance and the wax to bind together, so this way you get the best fragrance. And here I'm using a vanilla essential oil, which is just perfect for the holiday season. And you want to use 2 teaspoons of oil for every 4 ounces of melted wax. Now I'm pouring that slowly into our glass jar, and you just want to make sure that it cools down completely. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and create a design for our custom candles. Our candles are done, and I'm gonna go ahead and customize a label for them. This step is totally optional, but I think it's the perfect way to personalize a candle. So I made my design on the Cricut design space, and I am seriously in love with it. So here it is. I made this beautiful art shape, which is gonna fit perfectly on the candle. And then I just named this one Winter Nights. And I customized it to Chicago because if you know anything about Chicago, the winters here are pretty brutal. So hopefully having a cute candle like this will cozy it up. The design is going to be in white, and then the background is actually going to be a craft sticker paper, which I think is going to look amazing on our candles. So I'm going to pop this in my Joy and get it all cut out. So I cut the craft sticker paper for the arch, and then with the white vinyl, I use that to cut out the design. And you can also draw or print onto the sticker paper itself, but I really love the idea of a white design, so vinyl was definitely the way to go. And using these smart vinyls just made it so quick since you don't need any mats for the projects. I weeded out my design, which was a little bit tricky since these are pretty tiny at under 2.5 inches wide, but I did get it down, and I really love the idea of DIYing a label with like a city or an astrological sign or any cute sayings and inside jokes that you might have with your family or friends. I'm very happy with how this design came out, and if you guys want to use it yourself, I'll have the project as well as all the supplies from this video in the description box below. So now that we have it on the transfer tape, I'm just gonna stick that right onto the arch. And I did lose a couple of the dots on the eyes when I was weeding this, so I ended up cutting out more of the little stars and attaching them on later. And I think this happy little accident just made it look so much better. The candle looks amazing now, and it honestly came out better than I imagined, and I am so in love with it. So if you run into any imperfections with the surface of your candle, you can even it out with a heat gun or a hair dryer. I don't have a heat gun, so I'm using my hair dryer on a high heat, and then I'm going to evenly distribute that. So you can see now that it is nice and melted, and while we're at it, I wanted this candle to be even more special, so I'm going to add some dried florals to the top. You can use different floral types and colors to customize it to your gift recipient, and I'm just sprinkling in some whites and pinks to keep it pretty neutral. And also, I just want to make the disclaimer to please keep in mind that these, along with any other candle, should not be left unattended when lit, especially since there are dried florals in this one, so please be extra careful. Another idea I wanted to include was to add crystals to the top, and I did this previously in another candle and I thought it looked so pretty, so I had to make another one. This one is going to be a little bit more green themed, so I have some green crystals in there as well as a little winter greenery for a more holiday feel. And once the wax hardens back up, your dried florals and crystals will stay in place and your candle is ready to go. Candles are a tried and true gift idea, but I think that giving a DIY candle just makes it that much more special. I'm seriously obsessed with how these came out. I think the label and the overall aesthetic just has everything that I love in a candle, and honestly, I'm gonna keep one of these for myself, so I hope you guys like this idea as well. I honestly wish I could keep all those projects to myself because I think they came out so beautifully. Let me know in the comments below which one you guys would like to gift or receive. And if you're looking for even more gift ideas, I do have a playlist now on my channel. So I have that link below if you guys want to check it out. And again, thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. If you guys want to check out their newest machines and either shop for yourself or a loved one, make sure to click on the link down below. I'll also have the fonts and design files down there as well. And if you're inspired by any of these projects and recreate them, don't forget to post them over on Instagram and tag me. I love seeing all of your projects. And of course, I'll put some of your recreations on the screen here. As always, thank you so much for sharing your creativity with me. So that's it for today's video. Stay inspired and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!